I think also at the Come and See, it was the most pivotal moment for me was the Regnum Christi bonfire. We had a bonfire with the Legionaries of Christ, with some Regnum Christi lay families, and with the Consecrated Women. And seeing their vocation lived in the context of the greater family and the dynamics there was confirming for me that longing I have had on my heart for a real family of a religious family, a family in the charism. I'm Savanna Plunkett. I'm from San Diego, California, originally. When I was in high school and ninth grade, I began confirmation classes. It was there that I went to a student bill youth conference. That's where I first felt the call to consecrated life. There was a altar call at the end of the conference, and Father Schmitz was the priest presiding and said, if you feel called to the priesthood or to consecrated life, please stand. And I felt at that moment just the Lord really placed on my heart a feeling of an invitation to stand. It wasn't a peer pressure. It was like a very gentle and loving call. So even though I felt that invitation to stand, I put it aside and was like, I like romance. I like boys. This is not for me. So I didn't stand. But that invitation remained with me for a year. And I pursued that and felt like I was open at 16 years old to pursue that further. So I looked up online on Google one random morning, a day in the life of a nun, because that was my only understanding of what consecrated life was religious life. So I watched an Oprah video of some Dominican sisters, and their life really spoke to me, so much so that I pursued that further. And at 19 years old, I ended up entering a Dominican convent and was there for 8 years, just really loving the life, loving the community, the apostolate, and an opportunity to give of myself completely to that. But in that time period, I also noticed my heart was longing for some things that life wasn't fulfilling for me. I had a deep longing for more prayer and contemplative life. I also had a longing for an apostle that wasn't teaching per se. I felt called to accompaniment and to walking with people in their journeys, helping them in my spiritual life. So I ended up leaving the community and doing some deeper discernment of where is God leading me, where is God calling me. And in that process of deep discernment, I decided to go on a 30-day Ignatian retreat at the Our Lady of Santa Clara Retreat Center in Cupertino, California. And it was there that I met the Legionaries of Christ, who are the priests in Regnum Christi. And it was the first time I had done this deep discernment of figuring out what was in my heart, what was the charism that was there, what desires were there that were leading me to understand God's call, that I had seen, wow, these men are living what's in my heart. And so I asked one of the priests there, I said, do you have religious sisters? And he said, well, we don't have religious sisters, but we have consecrated women. And that really was the first door open to looking at this life and seeing like all that was in my heart that I was still at the crossroad of trying to figure out. It felt like it was all contained here, both within the Regnum Christi charism of a spiritual family and within the consecrated women, their life and how they live that mission of accompaniment, as well as living almost like an independent kind of prayer life with the Lord, where I can have that intimacy that I had been longing for with Him, that more contemplative space, in the fact that I can make my holy hour when I desire to, where I desire to, when I desire to, and having that ability to encounter Him in my day-to-day life in the way that I had been yearning for in the combat. So the Come and See was a really beautiful opportunity to see, well, first of all, to confirm, is this really the answer to what's in my heart? Because I had some real doubts. I actually came to the Come and See thinking, I'll check off the box and find out it's not it. I thought, after living a religious life for 8 years, I thought for sure the call to create a career and to the mission I was looking for could only be fulfilled in a religious community. So being here for a few days with the consecrated women confirmed for me that actually that can be found here in the way that I was longing for. Uh, I think also at the Come and See, it was the most pivotal moment for me was the Regnum Christi bonfire. We had a bonfire with the Legionaries of Christ, with some Regnum Christi lay families, and with the Consecrated Women, and saying their vocation lived in the context of the greater family. And the dynamics there was confirming for me that longing I had on my heart for a real family of a religious family, a family in the charism, where we work together. And I really saw that come to life in a particular way in that moment. So all of those things confirmed for me, yes, I think that this life is fulfilling what's on my heart. And so I felt that call for that next step in discernment to come to Live Discernment program. The discernment program has been just so life-giving and fruitful, I think, for me, because it's an opportunity for me to really live the life of the consecrated women in the capacity I'm able to now with my limited formation with them. And I can see, like, if I'm living this life for the rest of, my time on earth, is that what's in my heart? Like, is that fulfilling that longing that's here? And then being able to, like, go into the apostolate, go into community life, journeying with all the aspects of the life in a way that shows me this is what the life looks like. Uh, is that fulfilling what's there on my heart?